Good afternoon, I'm Draken and this is the DrakenWerks and we are back on the Unorthoblocks server here. Unorthoblocks? Yeah, Unorthoblocks. We'll try and get the name correctly there and say it correct. And you may remember at the end of the last episode we saw this place, which was this little Christmas Santa, Secret Santa kind of thing, you know? I couldn't even remember the name of that either. This is a great start to the video. I can't even remember proper names. But you remember the Secret Santa was sort of introduced to us last time. Now, I'm not normally a very festive person. I don't tend to do a lot of these sort of Christmas things. But I thought, well, it's my first Christmas here on the Unorthoblocks server. So I should really sort of try and take part and get involved in the spirit of it. So I thought, yeah, okay, let's write our own Christmas wish list as... Bex had suggested, who's been organising the Secret Santa and sort of coming up with some ideas of what we might possibly want there. So I started with the obvious one. I'd want a pony. Actually, I stopped with that. I mean, I got stuck on because I'm not a very good one for like giving ideas of what I want for Christmas, because I'm generally that sort of person that if I want something, I go and get it, and I don't need to really worry about it. So that when people say, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," because I've got everything I need. So it's quite difficult. So that got me a little bit stuck at the beginning here. But then I was sitting there thinking, well, actually, I'm putting down a pony as a bit of a joke, but actually, I'm about to build stables in the DrakenSpire. And I'm going to need some horses. So actually, maybe a pony or two would actually be a very good thing to actually have brought over to the base and would be a really good Christmas gift, because it's going to save me trying to find some horses and bringing them back and stuff. So I felt, right, that could be my first one. And then it's on to the next one. And it's like, trying to think of ideas is always very, very difficult. But then I was remembering, I've got a lot of sort of empty houses at the moment in my basement, whole blocks of flats that need to be, or housing units that need to be done. And there's like about 4 blocks of housing units. So it'd be a bit much to ask someone to do all of them. But to ask someone to do maybe one of them, that would be quite cool. That would be awesome. And then it was also then like, what else we got? And then it was like, yes, something that I haven't really been big on at the moment was maybe is the netherite, because I haven't really gone doing much netherite farming. I got a couple of bits of ancient debris, but I haven't really done much. I know a lot of others got really big into it. So I've never had a full netherite suit. So yeah, we'll put that down as our Christmas thing there as well. So, I mean, that's just a nice thing to put at the end there. If it happens, it happens. I mean, I'm not expecting any of it, all of it at all. It's just, you know, a bit of fun anyway. And it'd be interesting to see what people request of their Secret Santa when I pick that up as well. But yeah, and then I sort of had to finish it off there just to say, yes, I have definitely been sort of pretty good on the server. I'd hope I've been pretty good and everything else and haven't caused too much problems. We may have done 1 or 2 pranks in the past, but yeah, we'll just skip past that bit, shall we? I promise I've been pretty much good on the server, but yeah, that was that side of it all done there as well. So we dropped our list off then back into the little Santa hut here, and that's us getting involved in the festive spirit. But we moved over here then to the shopping district, and you can see I got some diamonds here. I know Mighty Beard was after some concrete with some of his Christmas builds over there's a Christmas district that Mighty High set up, and we may have a look at that in our next episode. But yeah, he bought some white concrete there because he felt that the bone blocks that he usually uses for white was a bit too sort of that off-white for the builds he was doing over there. It turned out from what you were saying that the white concrete wasn't particularly a great colour match either, but I also noticed this. Someone's moved my ender chest. My ender chest used to be here, outside, and now it is inside. And I was like about to go move it back outside, and I was like, well, actually it makes more sense it being inside. It's a bit easier to get to, but I kind of miss it being outside. So we'll see how we feel. I'll keep it where it is now, wherever that got moved to, but if not, we might move it back if I miss it too much. But we'll see. We'll see. And then we're coming over to here to the shipyard, and yeah, as you guys know, we have these ship orders and everything else coming in. We haven't had an order for a while and everything else like that, but we haven't updated our designs either for a while. So I was sitting there thinking it was about time that we built kind of a new design. I've been thinking for a while, and I've actually had something over on the creative servers for a while. I have a little creative side server that is a little bit bigger and everything else to design a ship. And I mean, we've got these ones here, and there's a class already that's a size up from this as well, as you may remember from several episodes ago. You've seen me build a couple of those actually for a few other people around the server. There's one which has now become the Hell Kitty over at the spawn point, and there's another one we built for Shelley, and then there's a couple that we built for ourselves as well. But I really want to build something a bit bigger, so I came up with this one, the Demelza Class. And this one I'm going to be quite intrigued on seeing how this one turns out, because it's going to be a much bigger vessel. This is the design that I'm coming across. It's going to be at least 3 stories in sort of height on deck, 3 decks, sorry, I should say, rather than 3 stories. Plus, then you've got the top decks as well, sort of castles. So yeah, before we put it together, and you'll notice that the price on it, I've put it here, is 32 diamond blocks, and people go, oh man, that's expensive, especially compared to some of the other ones that I got there. But the thing with this one, this Demelza Class frigate, is that it is so much bigger, and so much work is needed to do it. It's not just the resources that's involved, because you're talking about you need at least 4 chests full, double chests full of wool alone just for dealing with the balloons on the top of it. You've also going to have to deal with all the wooden planks and everything else, but it's also the time. It takes ages. It took me a while to build some prototype examples of this, as you'll see in a minute when we do a time lapse in a second. But yeah, I thought we'll go with this one, which is a little bit, and I tried to do something a little bit more special with this, which you'll see in a moment, where we have like these balconies going around the back, and it's got like galleys and stuff like this. So this is a bit more like the larger ships now than what we previously have built on the server. So I'm going to be quite intrigued to see what you guys make of it. I'm going to see if anyone's actually going to be interested in buying it. Some people did express that they would be up for larger ships and everything else. This is one of those things I'm going to have to say to people that there's no hurry on this. We can't speed the build up on this either. I know sometimes people are like, yeah, if I give you some extra diamonds, can you come do it quicker? It takes so long to build this one that it is quite time consuming. And there'll probably be bigger ones that I'll build as well, but that won't be available for sale. Like, for example, you've seen the IDAV community, and I want to redo that one as well. I want to do a second one of that floating around my base somewhere, and I've got an idea for an even bigger ship, like a flagship. That will come up in the future episodes as well. Not quite immediately, but that is on the cards, that is planned. But yeah, I mean, this thing we're talking about, this will have 54 cannons, 25 on each broadside, 2 on the bow, on the bow, if we're trying to pronounce it properly, and 2 on the stern as well. So this thing is going to be an absolute beast of the skies. It is a proper little frigate that is airborne and floating around there and everything else as well. I mean, I'm going to be looking forward to this one. Hopefully others will as well on the process, but I'm kind of glad we've got there. But I mean, instead of me rabbiting all the time about it, let's just, actually, I'll tell you what, let's just show you what it's all about, and let's go and cut over to a time lapse in a second and show you how we built it, and then I can actually take you on a tour of one of these Demelza Class frigates. Well, we say that. We say one of these Demelza Class frigates, but this is me we're talking about, and I know it's a big frigate, and I was saying about the time-consuming elements of it, but actually, maybe it would have more than one. I mean, this is me we're talking about now. And there we go. As you've seen, we have built not just one, not just two, but three of these. The third one is actually technically an under construction one over at the shipyard. I have mentioned briefly a couple of times in the last couple of episodes that we were going to build a shipyard over the far side for the bigger airships. And so we have, but yes, we have two of these now floating just out the front of the DrakenSpire. So I didn't even put these up to the dock. These are actually now just floating around on patrol, keeping our base nice and safe here. And we call them the Demelza Class. It's named for a very special name there that to me, that I cherish a lot, but this is called the IDAV Demelza Skies. Is the proper name of this ship, and the other one that you can see right beside it, that's the IDAV Draken Skies as well. So we've got these two that are sitting side by side, floating over in front of the base there. But we've got the top deck here, as you can see. We had the little bit up there where you've got the actual steering wheel there and the steering column, and you've got also a little bit of a map at the back there as well. And then we've got some cargo that's being stored up on the top deck here as well, with a couple of cannons on the top here as well. And we've got this back sort of castle here underneath the sort of pilot's deck here, where you've got a few more cannons, sort of two being able to point out the rear and some more going around the side there. And you've got over the front here, we've got the cargo hatch just underneath us, and we've got some stairs going down to the deck below. But I thought instead of going that direction, we'd go this way instead, because this is one of the nice features like on this. I built this back balcony that comes around the back of the ship here, where the captain can come out and have a look out the rear of the ship. And then it's its own extra separate door into the captain's quarters here, where you've got a double bed on the side there. We've got like a little desk at the side, and then we've also got like a walk-in wardrobe as well for the captain. The captain has quite spacious quarters here, and then he's got another door that will actually take him into the central ship itself. And as you come here, you can see this is mainly a cannon deck with a few bits of cargo tucked around, and a couple of bunks at the end there as well for some of the crew as well, tucked at the end of the ship here. Then if we go down the ladder to the next deck, we've got more of the crew bunks here. In fact, there are a lot more of the crew would be staying here, as well as a lot more of the cannons. This is another one of the cannon decks. And we've got these doors at the front here, which lead out to the bow at the front here, so we can actually look over the front here, see the ship beside us, and come out to the front bowsprit that sticks out the front, and along with the figurehead as well. We come back into here then, have a look into the main decks itself, and you can see we have these multiple decks of cannons and stuff like that. And there's a few more bits of cargo here as well. You can see this sort of the cargo hatch coming down through the floors, and then we've got some tables at the end here, and that's because we're right outside the galley there. We've got off to this side, we've got a little brig, and then into here we've got the galley itself, so we've got the cooker and the sink and everything else all sorted there as well. And then we go into the back here, and we've got basically a senior officer's quarters, so it's a few more bunks at the back here where some senior officers might be able to sleep in peace away from where the crew have to sort of kip out with the cannons and all the noisy bits and pieces out the front there. Though they're not far away from the galley, so they're not bad for food and stuff like that when they're feeling peckish and hungry. And then we can go down the ladder and we go down to the final deck at the bottom here, and this is basically our cargo deck, but it's more than the cargo deck on this one. You've got a little front space here as well. That on this version, on this one, the Demelza Skies, we didn't quite fill it up. We did over on the Draken Skies, but you've got some cannons still down here and a bit of space for cargo. Possibly not as much space for cargo as there could be. This ship is more dedicated as a dedicated sort of escort vessel. It is a frigate, it's designed to have more cannons. It does have some cargo capacity, but it's not its primary purpose. And as you see, we can fly over to here, we can come and check out the Draken Skies. Getting on board sometimes is a little tricky when you're flying, and these are things that are all up in midair. But yeah, we can come over and you can see this is pretty much the same. What I have done is you'll see the cargo isn't identical to what is the cargo on the other ship. The layout is all the same. The cargo is also changed around a bit and everything else to give it a bit of variance between the ships here. But we come down to the bottom deck and you can see here I actually utilised on this one that front cargo space as well that sort of just tucks up underneath the bow there. So we've got a little extra space in there. I didn't quite use it properly on the other one, but I did it on this one. So again, it's just a little bit of differences between the two ships there. But in addition to these two ships we've got floating around the front here, as I said, it wasn't just two that we built, we also built a third one. And if we come over here, you can see hovering over here is the outline, is the frame of another one. So obviously it doesn't have its balloon on the top yet. It hasn't even got its masts in properly, and we'll probably do a little bit of playing around with that one. And this isn't finished, this bit yet. I mean, you guys have seen over on the other side where I have the smaller ships being built, a smaller ship being built, and how that's set up. This will be sort of similar sort of aspect. I'll probably build up chain link fences going around the outside of here. There'll be good big stone blocks underneath supporting the ship while it's under construction, with bamboo framework up the side, and probably a couple of cranes lifting bits and pieces onto the ship itself, and a couple of huts and all that sort of stuff all around this area. So this area is still yet to be finished off, but I needed to get the frame in place so I could sort of build everything else around what this frame was going to be. So we got the basic work of there, the basic structure of another one of these Demelza Class frigates just sitting quite happy there. And that's all the building I've done this week. You know, but in fairness, I have built 3 very large airships this week. All right, 2.5 technically, because this one isn't complete and it hasn't got the balloon, but you can see why why we haven't done as much as we normally do. But I think in the future we will turn around and finish this area off here. So we will turn around and put the cranes in, we'll put the scaffolding in and everything else as well. I want to keep expanding in this direction. So it sort of made sense to get this done now, because obviously we needed to have one of these here for this bit to finish this bit off, as well as building a couple more. I thought having a couple set outside the spire itself would also be quite a nice sort of backdrop out the front of the spire. Now whenever you exit the front of the spire, you've got these airships floating in front, and I might add a couple more airships there. I might do a couple of smaller ones sort of in escort with them as well, sort of flanking the sides of them as well, so that it gives like almost like this fleet of airships just hovering around and orbiting around the city. Also, the other thing we're talking about this actually towards the beginning of the episode, was building stables here. And the reason I want the stables is not just because I want some ponies to put in there, but I've also got all these animals over here. So we've got things like the llamas there, and we've also got I got the wolf there, who was looking very sad, just being tied up on his own over there with all these llamas that he's not allowed to attack. And there was like I think there was a pig over there or something like that, and a sheep or something like that as well. And I want to build a proper sort of little stables there for them all. So there's a few things to go. Yep, I also want to build a galley to put some mementos in as well. But this has been absolutely fantastic. Again, we are the Draken. This is the Draken GameWorks. We are here on the Unorthoblocks server. I very much recommend checking out all the other videos that the other guys do there. There's some great stuff, and especially there's some of them have been working on a Christmas district. I know Mighty High and Mighty Beard have both been over there building, and also Grey as well. He's gone and built his what do you call it, the Grinch is sitting there looking over the whole of the Christmas district. I recommend going checking out their videos, seeing what those are like. Certainly have a great time, but check out all the members below, and we shall see you all again soon. Take it easy.